We have good news and bad news for the market. On the side of stock market, we are watching that it's dropping. Now, one of the main reason you should look at that is because, say, we had a trend going where we were going the upside, and you had a base which was kind of established, right? Say this was a base where you were supported before was resistance. So now when you extend that, you kind of look at this like an area or a zone where the price was trading before and respecting. So now when you dropped below that, you came back, you tested that or back tested, retested, and then now you're going back down, which is not actually a good sign. Why? Because if you observe this, say you had a higher high here, great, followed by a drop, lower low, and then a lower high. Now the difference between these two highs is not that huge. Yeah, it is still there, but it's not huge. But after that, you drop till here. Your next high is here, the lower high, showing that the momentum to the downside is increasing. Now that's the case for S&P 500. You go look at the Apple, this is what you can see. It's also dropping, slowing down, but it hasn't still been affected that much. Whereas when you look at Tesla, when you look at Netflix, they are trending lower, they are going lower. Especially Netflix, this is something really getting hit hard. Now if you go look at the Facebook stock, which has been making that all over the place, we are observing that Facebook is dropping. Now if you understand, they topped around 390 and went to the bottom of 290, so they have already dropped a bit. But for the time being, if you observe Facebook, yes, people do tend to give you that idea it's going down, but this is what is happening in the market right now. So if you are concerned, yes, you should be concerned. Why? Because the price has went up for a long period of time. We need big drops, I agree, but what we have to understand is the narrative set for the general public and what's happening in the market. Now we are only getting rejected from a resistance, so what's probably going to happen? You're going to go lower, and that happened, right? You came all the way down to 240. Now you're trading at 237, which happens to be this previous level of support. So now what we understand is, like, from the top of 390 to this point right now, how much did the price drop? So we are taking it from this top and dropping it all the way down. We are 38% down. So now we go on a weekly chart or a monthly chart, whichever you prefer, to look at the long-term charts, and you go back to look at what happened back in the days when we were correcting. So here, as you can observe, we corrected around 40-45%. Right now we are close to 40%. So that shows the up and down maybe is kind of there. We tested the top, we got rejected, we came all the way back down here, great, and the selling volume is super high. So that can show you that this is one of that big stock which is going down. Now you jump back onto that Netflix one and you identify, okay, this also did the same. It broke through this level, it came all the way back down, and if you are looking at this, it was huge correction, 50% correction. Now at the same time, when you look at the price of Bitcoin, we haven't actually dropped too much. We are still trading in this range, right? We are still in that corrective channel where we are respecting the support and resistance. So now there is nothing changing. But on the other side, when we look at XRP and the fundamental changes, yes, we have something good, we have something a little bad, but whatever, it's positive. The judge actually is supporting the idea of getting those information. So here we are ultimately going to be able to get those 63 emails from Hinman's speech, which went all the way to a lot of different people. So now we'll be able to understand where it went, what information it contained, and what is going to happen. Meaning, once you know that information and the judge is like, okay, fine, this really happened, it's easy for them to make a decision there. So now you look at the global extension, and Ripple, the company, is moving so crazy. They are moving all around the globe, expanding. Just in the US they have this issue with the SEC, because the SEC play, now you can call it a drama, you can call it a technical issue, but still it is a drama considering what's happening there and with the ether. Now we need to actually go look at the price fluctuation of XRP. So let's do that. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now yes, the price of XRP is still low. We haven't actually done anything, right? We are still correcting to the downside. We are in a corrective pattern right now. If we are looking at this as a resistance following this pattern and putting this as a support, we can now identify like, okay, we are in a trend and we are still moving to the up and down motion. It's all fine. The market only has that way to do. Either the price goes up or it come back down. But in this particular pattern, we are at the middle right now. So if we get a bounce, okay, fine, we're going to test that resistance and we need to break that to the upside. In the price structure, however, what you observe is like we came to this level, we are wicking, we are staying there. We have been in this range before, but we made a double bottom at 0.5. Right now we are staying at 0.6, and emotionally, psychologically, it's really low for those who have invested at the tops here. Those who are, even for those who are, in the market from here, it's a little bit profit, but it doesn't actually feel great. It's not that phase where you feel the euphoria, right? It's the phase where you feel completely down, and that's when you should be buying. If you are buying this asset more and more, if you're accumulating, you are a net buyer of this asset. That means you're going to buy more and more. But right now, you are looking at the price like this. It's still trending to the downside. You have these supports like this where you're moving. Fine. So from here, if you are to bounce, we are reaching 0.7, which will again be a resistance. That would be based on this one here in Bitcoin, because that's a large cap asset, right? XRP. So right now, when you look at the Bitcoin, you actually get this idea where it's like, okay, there is a really big possibility that Bitcoin is creating this inverse head and shoulder pattern, which it may come up. Now we have seen something similar recently. I think it was an H bar or ZRX, yeah, where we're actually talking about this, and then you go look at what the price is doing. It's actually trending higher. Now you see Quant here. It's doing fine for the last 24 hours. Now, when we look at Quant, we were talking about Quant, right? We were actually putting this chart as like Jan 20s. Again, we talked to our members saying, 99 is actually a good price. Quant is now reaching a major support. So this is a trend line support as well. You look at the RSI, it's the support, the price is the support, the moving average. It's all good, it's all great. Now you go look at the trend, it bounced from that level. So for your confirmation, what you do is you go to the RSI. It is showing you a breakout. So now those who want to buy, you can still buy because the trend line support is here. You can come up. Now the take here is, say you look at these assets, there are something which you can identify and capitalize on. So that's why when you look at the market, you see like, okay, H bar is there, Quant is there. And when you go through these, you actually understand, okay, you are able to actually see those, right? Say ZRX is in that list, not the top gainer, but it's still grinding to the upside. Now, while you trade, if you want these kind of charts, updates for a lot of different assets, you can always look at the Patreon where you get charts and updates for a lot of different assets like this on a regular basis. So you can make your investing decision based on that. You always take an informed decision, right? So this gives you the opportunity to know what's happening, how you can view the market in my personal opinion, and you can then convert it, right? You can use it based on your cognitive ability and do your trade. Now understand, the market is really volatile. The stock market is going down. The interest rates are going to go up. That means real estate is also going to go down. Automatically, this is going to affect a lot of different people. So now you look at crypto market and you're like, okay, we are somewhere here. We expect it to do a little bit of correction, then go back up. All this stuff is there. So precisely for XRP, when we are looking at the macro scenario, this is still like, okay, fine, we have been actually trending. Now, if you delete all this and just look at what the price has been doing for some time, you'll understand, okay, we created a base, then another one here up, right? We created the base here. Then we moved up. Now our base is here. So if you are looking at this, in that structure, you will be able to understand like, okay, fine, the price is actually doing a lot of different things. We are volatile, but the support is increasingly going to the upside. Now it feels like a ladder, but it's not euphorically to the upside, right? It's not that exponential move which we all wanted. Now the price is slow, along with the market it's slowing down. If this was the structure which you wanted, now you broke that, you came back down. Now if you remove that and look at the trend line as we speak, you can see like, okay, this is one of the area where you broke down, fine. Then the next area comes like this, you go down and you're like, okay, fine, there is a possibility this can be a support. So you still have like a month to go to consolidate there. Now in the worst case, you're looking for the wicks, and that's like, okay, you may come down to 0.4, 0.5 and bounce in this region of the next level of supports, right? But you do have a big range of support here, which I think is going to stay valid for a long time. And if the market is bouncing, along with that bounce XRP too, because this is wave 2 coming in, and a lot of people who are bought in are still in the market and buying. That's why the price is not coming back down. Think about that for a moment. We were at 0.12, we were at 0.2, 0.3, and we're not coming back down. Why? People bought, they are not selling, they're still holding on to that asset even at these higher prices. Now it's just doubling your money if you are bought in at 0.3 or say 3 times from 0.2. But remember, you are still in the trade, understanding that the macro trend is entirely bullish. You look at this asset, and I don't know how one can actually go completely bearish on this asset. The trend is moving to the upside, 1. 2, you look at the macro trend and the pattern. So your pattern which you're observing here is something like this, a rounded bottom, which you're still bullish on, fine. Now if you closely follow these wicks, then you are coming till this point, right? So in this particular pattern, you would say like, okay, no, I actually personally think that this wick should coincide with this one and we should go higher. And that is a probability, but understand, this is a game of probability. No one can say like this is going to happen for sure. If they say that, either they believe that, but it's not the truth, or they want to just put out that stuff which may not be the right stuff. Because everything is the understanding. See, you understand something differently, I understand something differently. But that's why we are here discussing about the market right now. So looking at the RSI, we understand that the bottom should be somewhere close, because the RSI is already reaching that level of bottom which we haven't visited in like last 6-7 years, except this cross which happened the early 2020, right? So if you look at that December 2019 and early 2020, we visited that area and bounced. Right now we are reaching that territory and the price is still here, which means accumulation mode and reaccumulation mode. So those who understand this will have time on their side. If they do have time on their side with these adoption, with this level of things changing for the CBDC ecosystem, you are actually going to get everything done better. Now, I've actually seen Patrick Bet-David talking about it's 10 times more valuable than Bitcoin. It's not here. It's not about the XRP. You go look at this, you listen to this, and it's now his opinion, right? But as a successful individual who has came through a lot of different challenges, that's worth listening to. Now, whether you feel it like a meme coin or not, it's still just listening to that and putting that idea. It's all about getting more knowledge and then deciding for you, right? So once you understand the market is moving, you look at a lot of different assets, say first 300, first 400, and you're like, okay, fine, the market is moving. See, that means even if you see 5% up, 10% up, that doesn't matter. What matters is like the Netflix, the Facebook, the big guys are going down on the other side. And here in the crypto market, you are observing these green numbers, which is not bad, right? That's the perspective. If that happens, like the gold, like the silver, that's where your money should be. In my opinion, I really believe that is where my money should be, and that's where it is. 75% of it is in crypto. So I definitely believe we are going to come on top of this by the time this cycle ends. We have barely a year left. So this year, wave 2, wave 3 is going to bring the level of profits which we all need. Believe it or not, it's going to happen in one way or the other. So guys, if you're receiving value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. That supports the channel a lot. And again, if you want these kind of charts to know when to buy, what to look at, what's the pattern forming, what should you look at, what's the pattern you're observing long term, what can eye it, and all, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. This is the start of the month where you get to enjoy the entire month. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.